Hi everyone and welcome to the lesson on verbs. In this lesson, we're going to learn about verbs in English, but we'll mainly focus on three kinds of verbs for this lesson. Now, there are altogether 10 different types of verbs. Action verbs, stative verbs, regular and irregular verbs, transitive and intransitive verbs, helping verbs, modal verbs, and also phrasal verbs. We'll first focus on these three verbs in the list: transitive, intransitive, and linking verbs. We will then learn the other verb types later on in the course. Let's begin with intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs are verbs that don't have objects. For example, with verbs like to sleep or to run, we don't say what we slept or what we ran. We just say I sleep or he runs. These sentences are complete ideas. So these verbs are called intransitive, verbs that don't have an object. On the other hand, transitive verbs are verbs that have an object, and objects generally answer the question of what the verb does. For example, the verb to like is a transitive verb, as it's always used with an object. We never just say I like. It's always I like something. So we can say I like chocolate. And what I like is the object of the verb like, which in this sentence is chocolate. However, many verbs can be both transitive and intransitive. So in some situations, I can just say I ate. But in other situations, I may need to say what I ate. So I need to say something like I ate a banana. So remember that many verbs can be both transitive and intransitive. Let's now take a look at linking verbs. Linking verbs are called linking verbs because these verbs act as a link between the subject and its complement. Let's take a look at an example sentence. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. In this sentence, the linking verb is the verb to be, and we use am because the subject is I. And the verb helps to connect the subject I to its complement, a teacher. A complement is a word or a phrase that helps to identify or describe another word, such as the subject. So that's what linking verbs do. They link the subject and its complement. Now, it's important to note that some verbs are always linking verbs, such as to be. But there are other verbs which can be a linking verb, but also other kinds of verbs. And these verbs include to look and to smell. For example, I can say, I smell the flower. And in this sentence, smell is not a linking verb, as it describes the action from the subject I. And the flower is not a complement, but the object of the verb. The flower answers the question, what do I smell? However, I can also say the flower smells good. And in this sentence, smell is a linking verb, as it connects the subject and its complement, good. Good helps to describe the subject, the flower. So linking verbs are verbs that connect the subject and its complement. And some verbs can be both a linking verb and also other kinds of verbs. Okay, so that's the overview of the three verbs: transitive, intransitive, and linking verbs. Let's now do a quiz to check your understanding of what we have learned. Is the verb in this sentence transitive or intransitive? Intransitive. Is the verb in this sentence transitive or intransitive? Transitive. Is the verb in this sentence transitive or intransitive? Transitive. Is the verb a linking verb or a transitive verb? Linking verb. Is the verb a linking verb or a transitive verb? Transitive. Excellent job, well done. Okay, so in this lesson, we learned about 3 kinds of verbs: transitive, intransitive, and linking verbs. That's it for this lesson, and I'll see you soon again. Bye-bye.